Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. Let me hit record. Okay, yes, welcome to 30-minute pull request, where I'm going to try and solve an open issue on GitHub in under 30 minutes with a pull request. So yeah, if you haven't watched before, I've kind of been playing around with this for a little while. This is still a bit rough around the edges. Hey Fabio, good morning. Thanks for joining me. Yeah, so I've got some issues that I've kind of tracks that I think I should be able to solve reasonably quickly. I'm going to pick one up today and try and do it in under 30 minutes. So I'm just going to jump straight in with this one, and we'll have a look at the code. So let me go to the browser and turn on my scene switching, start my timer. Great. So this is the repo I track everything from. You can go to constrain.dev and it will take you to this Git repo. And I have a project board that I'm managing things on. So the pull request that I'm going to look at raising today is to solve this issue. I've had a request come in. This is on one of my own personal repositories for a GitHub action that allows you to do find and replace as part of your workflow, right? So GitHub Actions is like a CI pipeline. You define different actions that happen. This one that I wrote allows you to say, look at this file, find this bit of text, replace it with this other bit of text. I find it useful for like swapping out version numbers and things. So somebody's opened an issue to say, can you pre-build a container for this because it takes time to build. We had a bit of a chat about it, but in their pipeline, it looks like building this container is taking 27 seconds of the total 1 minute 40 of their full CI suite. So the action above is a pull rather than a build, and it completes in 11 seconds. That's 16 seconds faster. That could shave, 15 to 20% of their build time off if we pre-build this for them, which is a small amount of time to shave off. But if you have lots of actions and there's lots of container builds, you could end up, that could add up, and you could end up saving a bunch of time in like a more complex workflow than the one that they used in their example. So let's have a quick look at the code and we'll see kind of how this builds. So this GitHub action is written in Go. It doesn't really matter what it's written in because we're kind of more looking at the pipeline side of things. And this action is a Docker-based action. So in GitHub Actions, you either have a JavaScript-based action or you have a Docker-based action. The Docker-based actions are nice because they let you write any language. I wrote this one in Go. I've written actions in Python as well. So being able to wrap that up in a Docker container is really neat. So the first thing in the action file is this action.yml, and this kind of describes what the action is, what it does, what inputs it takes, what outputs it gives. But most importantly, it has this run section. So it runs using Docker, and the image that it uses is the Docker file within the repository. We have a Docker file here, which from the Golang base container, we copy our code in, we grab any dependencies, we statically compile our Go application into a binary, and then we start from an even smaller, more minimal container and copy our binary across. So we actually end up with a nice small container here with a single binary and no other file system. I think this static has a few bits and pieces in the file system actually, like SSL certificates and stuff. You can have a look at the distroless repo from Google Container Tools. It's quite useful for making small portable things, but it should mean this image pull is really fast. But at the moment, every time you run your workflow, we're going all the way through this Docker file. We're building Go code, we're compiling it, we're building a static container and importing that. So what we want to do really is, as part of our CI in the action, when the actions repository, we want to like go through this, build it, and push it somewhere centrally like Docker Hub, and update all of this here so that when users use it, it pulls from Docker Hub. But I want to make sure that we are when we run the CI on the action, with this, let's have a look at that. Right, we have two workflows in the CI for this action. We have a Go workflow which tests that things build. So this has nothing to do with Docker. It's nothing to do with any of that stuff. This is like a bare Ubuntu GitHub action workflow. We use the setup Go to get Go installed. We check out our code and we build. We get our dependencies and we build. So this just kind of makes sure that the Go code compiles. But then we also have another workflow called integration, and this one is meant to be like a bit of a dog fooding integration. So the integration starts up. it checks out itself. It then runs like it uses itself to do a find and replace on something. And then it tests that that find and replace actually works. So this is, is a bit of a circular thing. There's actually a problem here because we're using master and it shouldn't be. We should actually be using. I did open an issue about this and I did change this in another action, but I think it needs to be something like that. We're just going to say use the current folder. Let me just, yes, I'm going to go to GitHub community. I asked this question. Somebody answered me and told me how to do it. And I need to log in. Yeah, fine. Been in before, but okay. So the GitHub community forums are quite nice. A good place to go and ask for support. So let me. Where are my questions? Go to me. Summary. Yeah, self-reference and action. So they said, is this one here? Yes, uses / which just says use the current thing. So we've changed that to / that makes more sense. What I think we're actually going to have to do is I'm going to put a to do in here because we're going to have to replace the Docker image with the Docker file. I'm getting ahead of myself here. But, that's something I have to do in a minute. And this is because at the moment we run the integration test. This will run through, it will build itself. It will basically look at this action.yml file and say, oh, what do we need to do? And it will build this. But what I need to do two things. So I need to make a new workflow called publish publish.yml, which will, on the master branch, when we tag, yeah, we should do that. When we create a git tag on the master branch, we want to push a Docker image into Docker Hub, push it into my, my Docker Hub account. And then in action.yml, this image then wants to point to Docker Hub, right? So that when another user comes along, they set up the action, they use it, it will pull the right image from Docker Hub. And we need to actually think about that, how the versions are going to work. Because you might need to version this as well. But anyway, yeah, what I think I should do. I'm getting a bit lost. Right. Trying to think of what order to do things in because, yeah, let's have a quick look at how I've set things up in here. We have in releases. I'm just doing releases like this, 0. But I'm just doing some releases here, and they are published to the marketplace. So every time this gets published to the marketplace, somebody can come along and they can say, okay, I want 0.1.1 of this action. Yeah, I've actually found it quite hard to find documentation and blog posts and things on how to do this. If you Google for like GitHub Actions, Docker Hub, Publish, something like that, this is all about like how to publish to, like how to use GitHub Actions to publish Docker images, which is kind of what we want, but it's not exactly what we want. So, right. I definitely want something like this, publish Docker. I'm going to copy exactly this workflow. I'm going to use this. So we're going to check out master, yeah, when we tag, and then we're going to use this publish Docker Hub, and then this is going to be, my name / what's this called? GHA find replace. Can you specify a tag as well? Tags. Use tags when you want to bring your own tags. That's fine. I do want to bring. Yes, that's what I want. That's exactly what I want. I think. Using dynamic tags, environment variables. So, right, okay. This illustrates how you publish the latest along with creating a custom version tag in a release, setting it only run on published events. Yeah, that's fine. I think I want this as well. I'm gonna copy all of this because I think that actually is more like what I want. Ooh. I copy my name from here. So let's go like that. Just fix that indentation. Okay, publish to registry. On release published. Push branch master. I don't want to do it on a schedule. When we push to master or publish a release, we want to get the release version, which is going to be by getting the GitHub ref, and then publish to registry, and that my name was here. And then we're going to do latest, and let's just make sure that is going to do what we want. Setting it to only run on published events will keep your tags from being filled with the commit hashes, and will only publish when a GitHub release is created. So if GitHub release is 2.14, we'll publish the latest and 2.14 tags. Is reasonable. Yeah, so I think this config is like an implicit and. So when a release is published and we're pushing to master. Maybe. Well, I don't know actually. Use tagging when you want to push tag releases. Don't get. No, I think that's fine. I think that's what I want to do. Yeah, so when we publish a release, we want to push that up, which makes sense. I need to set these secrets, but that's fine. I can do that. What does setting secrets look like? Can I do it without you seeing what I'm doing, or do I need to go and do this somewhere more private? New secret. Nope, it's just going to make me paste that in. I'm just going to pop that out, and you should not be able to see it. Yeah, let me leave you on something more interesting. Yeah, so I'm going to set these secrets myself now in another window that you can't see on stream. So let's come in here, and that was the Docker username. Okay, cool. Good. I don't want you to see what my username and password is. I mean, you can see what my username is, but that shouldn't matter. I always does a spiky thing. Right. Oh, no. That's password. Secret. New secret. Docker username. That was Jacob Tomlinson. Secret. Right, now if I pop this back in, there we go. So you can see I've just set these Docker password, Docker username. They match this Docker username, Docker password here. So those secrets are set in my GitHub repository, so they should pick up when we build on master now. So everything in here is fine in terms of like publishing a release. We should push the new version to the Docker Hub. So what we need to also do is down here, this needs to change to something else. Now let me try and find where that was. What did I Google before? I went GitHub actions action.yml. Metadata syntax for GitHub actions, and then I went to runs for Docker actions. Here we go. The image here is going to be that kind of looking thing. So we need to replace Docker file with this, and there should be Jacob Tomlinson slash, what did I call it? In here, wasn't it? GHA find replace. Let's put that in here, and then this is going to be something. Double quoted it. Think about this, because we can set that to latest, right? And we are pushing latest every time, but it means you won't be able to like pin your action to a specific Docker image. So really, this wants to be like the version. but I don't. I think I might have to set up some kind of workflow where this will be when I publish a release. Like the next release is probably going to be. Where's my repo gone? It's going to. No, I'm not going to leave those. Right. I'm probably going to make this. I haven't changed the code. I'm only changing the way this is packaged. So this is probably just going to be like a bug fix release, kind of technically. So I'm going to make this 0.1.2. This really here needs to be 0.1.2, ready for us to tag it. Which then means if somebody comes in and picks this up, they should pull down the right Docker image. What I might do is, no, I am going to do that. It just means I'm going to set up, I'm going to have to set up like, I might even have to use my own action, my find replace action to bump us to the next version. But yeah, basically in the future, when I come and make a change, and I've forgotten that this repository exists and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to come in, I'm going to change the Go code or something because someone's raised an issue. I'm going to open a pull request, I'll merge the pull request, and then I will want to push a git tag, but I need to remember that, I need to come in and bump this version number here to the new git tag and then create it. I do this in a bunch of other projects as well, and I mainly handle that by having like a releasing section in the README, just kind of for my own reference. So I'm going to start adding that as well. So releasing. I might, yeah, okay. No, I'm going to call it publishing. Publishing. To publish a new version of this repository, of this action. Yeah, let's call it an action. We need to update the Docker image tag in action.yml, and also push a new tag to GitHub. Now I think you actually have to do releases, and then also create a new release on GitHub. Okay, release on GitHub. Do the Docker image in that and create a new release on GitHub. I should add some steps, something like work out the next tag version number, update the Docker image in action.yml. And then create a new release on GitHub with the same tag. I'm just going to go like that for now. So as part of this pull request, I think I'm going to put in like 0.1.2, and I'm going to go through and do all of that in one go. So I'm going to like merge my own pull request and everything. But the last thing, I mean, I need to actually test all of this, make sure it works. I'm going to change this to Docker Hub. So when we publish a release, we go through and do all of this. We build and push there. Just think, no, okay, that's fine. Part of what I'm thinking now is when we push new stuff onto master, if I'm not going to do a release for a while, maybe we want latest bit data. But I think we basically are going to release every time we make a change ever to this action, because it's probably not going to be touched very often. So I'm just going to leave this, right? So this is going to run using that. Now, the problem here is that in our integration test, this is why I put this comment here, because the self-test is going to use this current repository, which is going to look at this action.yml, and it's going to try and use this image, and this image doesn't exist, or it's not, it's not this image. So I'm probably going to have to do something like, I need to switch this back to, say, Dockerfile. I'm probably just going to put a quick little line in here. We're just going to say, I give it a name of update action.yml to run to build locally. And this is going to run some shell code. And we're going to do something like a sed, I reckon, like an in-place sed. Let's say, just Google this quickly, bash sed replace line inline. Place a whole line containing a string using sed. That's what I want, something like that. So text to be replaced, and that was, I'm going to do image. It didn't say image anywhere else now, does it? No. I'm going to say image. Just have a quick. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna do that with wildcards. I say image. I'm gonna escape that, and then that is going to be replaced with. Yeah, that does need a slash on the end as well. Yeah, so instead, when you do a replace like this, you have like your three delimiters, right? We've got forward slashes here, and the thing in the first block will be replaced with the thing in the second block. So I want to replace that with image docker file. Actually, I probably want to like that. Like that. I don't know if I need to escape those, but I'm just going to go action.yml. That should, as part of the build, the integration test, we're just going to kind of switch image back to. I don't know whether I need to escape those. I'm going to escape them anyway, just for completeness. We're going to replace the image line with image docker file, so it should build the local file. Always as part of the integration test, but then when users come along, we should use the remote one. We should then run self-test, and then we'll check the output. We've got our publishing in, we've got our secrets configured, we've got a little publishing section, updated the action to do that. I don't know whether I need to actually do a push manually at least once, but I don't know if I do. Might not. Right, let's just go for it. Let's git checkout, new branch, and we'll call this publish to Docker Hub. Yeah, we'll add all the files that were changed, and we'll commit those, and we'll say publish pre-built and type there pre-built Docker image. Do that, and we will push that, make a new branch, and we should get a nice pull request URL. Yeah, let's take that over to our browser. Publish pre-built Docker image on release. Updated our actions here. So, oh, it's formatted my README as well. I must have Whittier turned on or something. Right, so I've updated my action.yml with the new image that it should use. But then told my integration workflow to put that back to what it was before, basically every time, and actually do the self-test. And then we've added a new publish workflow, so every time we do publish a release, it should actually push that version. And then in the README, I've put just a bit of instructions. These are mainly for myself. Next time I come back to this and I'm like, oh, how do I release this? I've got like at least some docs to look at. So yeah, I'm just gonna create that pull request. I should put some blurb in here, but okay, now this has failed. Why has this failed? Self-test. What's wrong? There's not enough information to determine what you meant. unexpected type something when reading something. I'm gonna just I'm gonna update this so that we're gonna run sed, but then we're also gonna cat this just to actually make sure it looks as we expect. Git commit. Let's say check action output. Push that up. This is a nice short workflow, so we should be able to go around the loop a bunch of times. Oh look, I did open switch to self-test pull request for this. Oh yeah, that was using a different answer that somebody gave. I'm actually just going to close this out because we're kind of superseding that anyway. This has failed again, but that's fine. I kind of just am expecting to see some output here. So in here, yeah, see, look, it didn't do the sed. I don't know if that's what it's moaning about. Oh no, look, the sed's gone very wrong. Okay, let's Google again. Sed inline replace line containing. What do we do? Replace line in file with pattern with sed. Yeah, that's basically what, oh, have I missed my S? Is that what I've done? Yeah, I've not done that. I think that might be what I've done wrong. I might also need to space this in because this has got some two spaces at the beginning, so I think I might need to actually put a couple of spaces there as well. Space. Right, let's hope I fix my sed. Git commit -n. Try to fix sed. Ironically, this this action is for doing exactly this kind of thing, right? Doing a final replace without having to write us the gnarly sed. Let me. Right, okay, so that, yes, okay, that sed worked properly this time. That did more what I would expect. It replaced that line with the right indentation, and it is now building that local image. Okay, so we built the container, and yeah, running against ourselves. The self-test passed, so the pull request has passed. I'm actually properly using a self-test here, which is good. But also, folks should. I should actually say this fixes that issue, doesn't it? This is issue number 4. So we should just say closes number 4. Closes 4. Right. I'm happy that that does everything that I think I want it to do. The other thing I want to test. Okay, so in terms of 30-minute pull request in this stream, I've done my pull request. It's kind of done and ready. I haven't actually tested whether the image builds properly using the published one. I need to go through the published loop just to make sure that that works. So I'm going to say I've succeeded in doing a 30-minute pull request because I'm going to merge my pull request now. I prefer to squash and merge. Okay, I'm going to merge that in here. Now I need to make sure that my published doesn't run now because I've only merged it. Oh, that is going to run. I'm curious to see what that does. Okay, so I think it's maybe going to push master every time I merge to master or latest, which I think makes sense. I do wonder whether like on master this should say latest, and then like for a release we like branch change this to be the right tag and then tag that branch and then clean it up. I don't know. Fine. Ooh, that failed. Why is this failed? Publish to registry failed. Invalid argument. Invalid reference format. Yeah, this will teach me for just copy pasting from somewhere. I think I want to change this. Let's just check out master. Apologies if you can hear any banging. I am currently having my windows clean. And let's just pull just to make sure I'm on master. Okay. I'm not quite sure. Let's go GitHub Actions, GitHub Actions, get tag. Yeah, see, people are doing that same kind of thing, right? I feel like GitHub should do this for you, really. But yeah, I think I don't want to. I don't think I want to run when I push to master. I think I want to just run on a publish release. I think that would work then. Yeah, everybody's doing the same kind of thing, right? Like set the output to release version and cut down something. So like an accepted answer here. I might just copy this and use cut. Okay, we're only gonna let's get a new branch. No, I'm gonna be naughty because this is my repo. I'm just gonna mess around on master. So let's git add all of that and commit, and I'm just going to tweak the publish. We're just going to say only publish on release. Push. I'm just going to push that up onto master because I do find sometimes when you're setting up pipelines like this, going through the whole pull request loop is kind of a bit of a waste of time, especially if it's like your own repo that you're just doing a small thing on. Right, I've just pushed that only publish on release. So if I go back to actions now, the integration test and the build are running, which I would expect, and that makes sense. But the publish .hub isn't. The first one failed, but that kind of makes sense. That's fine. My build action has finished. My build workflow is finished, and my integration test workflow is just running, which takes 30 seconds or so because it has to build the container. That is working, so that's good. Bear with me. Right. Okay, that passed. Now I'm going to come in. I've updated this. This has got that there. So let's tag a new release. That's what I want to do. So let's go draft a new release. That's what I want. And this is gonna, yes. That's fine. We want to publish this to the GitHub Marketplace. I'm going to leave all this the same. It's going to be 0.1.2. It's going to be 0.1.2. And this will be first release to cache Docker image on Docker Hub. And I'm going to publish that. Ooh, it wants my password. Let me just find that. Okay. So now that I've published that release, that action should be running. Publish is running 0.1.2. And it will run the tests again, which is useful. But let's have a look at this. What is this doing? It's funny, this is building their container because they haven't gone through this process and published this. Fine, that's going to run. It built quite fast, didn't it? Publish to registry. Okay, that seems to be actually publishing to the registry. Now all of that worked. I didn't kind of go over this. All that worked because I already have a Docker Hub account. I need to log in. Yeah, let me log in. Password. Don't remember that. Okay, so I've just created this GHA find replace repository. Oh, don't ask me about cookies. And oh my god, there's all sorts of pop-ups on Docker Hub. I don't want to answer this. This is making a meal out of this so that I just consent to all the cookies, isn't it? It's very painful. Yeah, fine, whatever. Okay. I built 0.1.2, which has been published to Docker Hub. So I now have tags, this tag. So I could pull that. Oh, I already had the Docker pull at the beginning. I can pull that and it should pull that image. Lovely. That was nice and fast. That image should be the same image that's here. Oh, can't actually copy and paste successfully. Copy. I should paste this and nothing should happen. So it should be correct. Okay. I've tagged that. That's done that. So now, really for completeness, I should just make sure that this actually works somehow. So let me make sure I've got, oh, that's one of my little shortcut aliases that I use in muscle memory already. Right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna quickly open a pull request where I don't do this to make sure, let's check out -b test CI pull, all of that, right? Git commit -m test pull from Docker Hub. I'm going to push that to here. So I'm basically just going to make a new pull request that doesn't, we put this fix in to locally build the image, but I'm just going to test without doing that just to make sure it actually manages to pull from here. I'm going to say create a draft pull request, just checking that the pull from Docker Hub works. Draft that pull request should trigger the CI integration test. Very fast. Go to that. Okay. Self-test. There we go. Unable to find locally, pull in from Docker Hub, pulled extremely fast. It only took 3 seconds. Pull that. It's because it's a nice tiny little Go image actually. The fact that I pre-cached that and that ran really, really fast. Which is fine. I'm gonna close this pull request out now. So yeah, let's just wrap this up. So this worked. I did the thing the user asked. I'm just going to come in and respond to them and just say, okay, now with version 0.1.2, the image is cached. It looks like the pull and no, it looks like that step now only takes 3 seconds, which is even better than I expected. Thanks for requesting this. I can't spell requesting this. I learned a bunch from implementing it. That's done, so that should now, that actually is going to save them 24 seconds of their 100 seconds. That's basically a quarter of their build time is saved by pre-caching that, which is awesome. So they should be happy. That's done. That pull request that I raised, I just want to keep track of it in my project board. So let's just finally come back here, copy the pull request. I'm going to just close all my other tabs. And I'm going to add a new note into merged PRs. I know I self-merged it, it's a bit cheating, but merge that PR here. And I can archive this note because I've finished it. So there we go. I'm going to call it a day there. Apologies that I've ran on a bit again. But that's quite nice, like speed up that we got there, which should save a bunch of time overall. Thank you very much for watching. I will continue to do this, and hopefully the stream will improve over time.